Brother Harrison!
Brother Historian, how are you today, partner?
Who the hell are you?
Who the devil are you?
Brother Historian, meet my friend Connor. Connor, world-renowned historian. Hello.
Hello, young Connor from Canada. How you doing?
The fir! The mighty Scotch pine!
Oh, he's not from Canada. He's from your neck of the woods, just a little bit further north than where we are.
Yeah.
I'm from Pennsylvania.
I think I'm gonna fall for that again.
He's from the area where all the vampires keep their pencils. I'm sorry, Connor. I saw an opportunity for a bad joke and I made it.
Hey.
We are named after the great and honorable Admiral Penn and Penn's Woods.
Yeah, get it right.
And now for something completely different.
Fallout. So there's a new special content coming out from the Amazon Prime Studios based on the popular Fallout video game series. They recently released the teaser, or was it the trailer? I don't know. Because those are different things now, because the whole world's a Comic-Con. But they released the teaser, fellas. So sometimes in these things, they'll say, from the filmmakers that brought you this other thing you like. That's kind of like a selling point for this new thing, right? What they say in the Fallout teaser trailer, again, this is Amazon Prime, they say, from the studio that brought you The Boys. Makes sense. Everybody loves The Boys. The Boys is great. I love The Boys.
I don't. It's not my cup of tea, but that's what's up.
Then they say, from the studio that brought you The Boys, and what else might they advertise here, fellas? Well, what else did Amazon Prime make? Something they might sell you on is the Amazon Prime's commitment to quality and excellence, as it means to get you to watch their Fallout TV show. Well, they made Rings of Power. They made Wheel of Time. What they actually say is, and I'm not kidding, from the studio that brought you The Boys, and free 2-day shipping. That's what the teaser says. They don't advertise any other show.
Free 2-day shipping.
What a ringing endorsement for Wheel of Time and the Rings of Power, I thought.
I heard relatively good things about Wheel of Time, but who knows?
I never watched it, but Rings of Power, frankly, Rings of Power, you heresy detected is all I will say.
Heresy!
I can say nothing good for that abomination.
And apparently neither can Amazon Prime.
Thank you. Yet they're still making a season 2.
Well, anyways, fellas, what are we here for? What are we doing? What am I doing with my life, man?
I don't know, but today, you, me, and Connor here are going to be watching episode number 3 of Bonanza, season 1, The Newcomers.
The Newcomers. I thought it was called The Outsiders, and I had a joke about 1990s professional wrestling loaded up, but I guess that's ruined now.
Is there an episode called The Outsider? We'll keep that joke in the can. We'll use it later down the line.
Okay.
Get there.
Doesn't somebody have to say yeehaw before we go?
Yeehaw! 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 Yeehaw!
And we're right into the action.
In media res is the fancy term.
McCall? Yes, it's McCall. Found another one of a prize steer butcher this morning.
I told you talk wouldn't be enough for a man like Blake McCall, Pa.
The only kind of talk he understands comes out of this.
Oh dear.
Looks to me like they picked up a little company. They didn't have a wagon the last time we ran them over here.
You gonna let him get away with it, Pa?
He has the sickness of gold, senor. You have already given him more chance than he deserves.
Jose.
Fun game we like to play. Is that actor actually Hispanic?
Friend. Something that would destroy the Ponderosa would also destroy me. Your fight is my fight.
This show was made in the late 50s, early 60s. So there's going to be copious amounts of what do we classify it as, historian? Red face, brown face, and everything else face?
All the colors of the faces, yes, absolutely. Except white. What is this theme song, anyway?
I think they changed it for a few episodes, but then they went back.
Weird.
I prefer the other theme song.
Yeah.
That one got you ready for a cowboy adventure.
Well, we're on the Ponderosa, John. That means we'll be running into the Cartwrights before long. Let's hope you'll make out better with him this time than last.
John, that isn't fair. Blake did the very best he could.
Your brother doesn't always approve of my methods, Emily. Think you could do better, John? I'd like to try talking with them. They're people, same as you and I think. Oh, man, Cartwright, his 3 sons? Yeah, they're people, all right. Rough ones. Now, what happened between you and them? Well, we were partners, John. Partners don't properly trust one another. Are you implying I don't trust you? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
John, please, you're letting yourself get all on edge.
Well, I'm sorry, Emily. It's just that I'm worried about your health. I need to get you into that high desert country without delay. Well,
Somewhere warm and dry. She got TB.
Yeah,
She's got.
it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's, of course, famously why Doc Holliday moved to the Southwest.
What's the matter, McCall? You letting your love life interfere with your money making? Take my advice, you get rid of her and Pennington, both of them. There's gold here. Besides, she ain't gonna last much longer anyway.
They gave him a spot the bad guy. Is it,
don't you ever let me hear you say that again.
one of these two?
It's the truth, ain't it?
So here's something they like to do in their writing: is a kind of sympathetic main villain, but then like a really bad villain, like who is it, like his right hand man kind of thing.
Well, I'd say we were flattered to have the great Mr. Ben.
They did that last episode, remember?
My name is.
Yes, with Leo Garden and what's his face?
On our way to that new mining area in Virginia City, we were told this was the
Exactly.
best way to get there.
Well, you were told wrong. You're on private property.
Well, the people have come through here.
They have. And they've slaughtered our beef, cut and burned our timber, and dug holes in our best pasture land.
Are we to be blamed for the actions of other people?
When you're standing alongside one of the worst offenders, yes. Now, we told you to get off last month, McCall. We meant for you to stay off.
Blake, what's he talking about?
Very simple, Emily. The great Ben Cartwright thinks he owns the world.
Now, just this part of it, Mr. McCall. Now, I'll ask you to get off my land. All of you.
Please, Mr. Cartwright, if I may speak. My name is Justin Flannery. My only purpose here is to obtain specimens of Sierra flora and fauna. You see, sir, by profession, I'm a botanist and entomologist. You see, sir, I only fell in with these people 2 days ago.
You made a very poor choice, Mr. Flannery.
That's an unfair thing to say, Mr. Cartwright. You don't even know us.
If my partner...
Harrison, doesn't he remind you of Good Sir in The Terror?
Afraid we can't.
Or can I...
Which one? This guy or the one with the glasses?
A little botanist man, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little scholar.
Let's hope.
Mixed in amongst hard men.
Yeah, let's hope that his story ends a little bit better than Good Sir.
Yes.
Good Sir.
Uprooted.
Or one out for Henry Briscoe.
Floods caused by
What's this guy doing?
Monitors. Orchards buried under mud. Us? See what you can do.
We're 5 minutes in and we already got our first shooting.
You keep away from him.
What the heck you do that for? You just...
Ugly brute.
He'll be an ugly guy.
Attaboy.
Good old Haas.
Ain't him hurt bad.
I love Haas's hat too.
Yeah,
it's not like a Stetson. It's got like a weird like bowler top to it.
It's not a 10-gallon hat. It's a 20, 30, 40-gallon hat.
Yes.
You must have done something to turn them against us. Well, you don't have to do too much. Had those Cartwrights turn against you. All right, maybe...
Him for your buddy was the one who pulled the gun.
Trees and Crew shot one of their cows. Believe me, it was an accident. He thought it was a deer. Well, that's the kind of accident we could do without, huh? Now, be a little more careful next time, will you? Now, look, John. I don't tell you how to run the office. Don't tell me how to run my end of this partnership.
Blake. I wish you two wouldn't quarrel so.
You're really in love with her.
Well, you and he are all I have left. That's why I don't want any trouble between you.
Don't worry, Emily. Blake and I get along fine. The main thing is to get you into that drier climate without delay. Now you get back in the tent and get some rest, huh?
That's right, just get some rest. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. Don't exert yourself. Just sit and look pretty. John?
Huh?
Do you think there's any hope?
Oh, of course there's hope. If you keep believing, you'll get well.
Just as I have to keep believing I have a right to love? I have to keep believing that, John. Because if I couldn't, I'd want to die.
Do you gentlemen think she will show any symptoms of illness in this show? That she's supposed to be very ill? Oh, there. Okay, well, answer my own question. She coughed a
Mr.
little.
Cartwright, I demand you allow us to pass through here.
How is he, son?
He's all right, boys. Just a crease.
Mr. Cartwright, why don't you answer my brother's request? And why are you so unreasonable?
Why am I so unreasonable? Miss Bennington, I'd like to tell you about a friend of mine. He came across the plains with me. And all the way across, he nursed a wagon load of young peach trees. He had a dream. Wanted to plant an orchard in California. Well, I saw what was left of that orchard last year. Buried under a dozen feet of mud. Washed down by your brother's hydraulic monitors.
Oh, I remember the man. I paid him twice what his land was worth. I paid for each of his trees.
Well, just what price do you put on the dream of a man's lifetime?
My brother has no intention of bringing hydraulic equipment into the Sierra.
Huh? Then why is he here, Miss Bennington?
I swear to you, we have no intention of staying on your Ponderosa ranch.
Sorry, but I find that hard to believe. See, the facts are, your partner has filed claims in some of the neighboring ranches. Ranches that contain watershed vital to the Ponderosa.
Well, don't look so suspicious, John. The claims were filed in the name of the partnership. We'll have to relinquish them. I don't agree. They're perfectly legal. We'll keep them and we'll work them.
I disagree. Nobody is going to destroy the Ponderosa.
Oh, what do you plan to do, Mr. Cartwright? Stop every man who comes over those mountains?
I'll fight for what's mine and what I believe in.
And when a man who believes differently comes along, what do you do then? Kill him?
If I have to.
Pattern of history, Mr. Cartwright. A man with a dream goes into a country knowing he'll be killed. But after him come two more, and then two more. And the military are along to protect them. And then they build a fort to house the military. And soon they own the country.
It's the plot of Dances with Wolves she's describing here.
Be careful history doesn't repeat itself.
Mr. Cartwright, can't you see your way clear just this once?
Mr. Cartwright, you would solve all your issues if you just put up some no trespassing signs and maybe a couple 100 miles of barbed wire fence along the perimeter.
Is that all it would take?
The no trespassing signs exist, or would he have to make them himself?
Oh yeah, he's got to make them himself. This is 1861 that the show is set, so just get some chipboard and about 200 buckets of paint.
Okay, so here's.
He can go in town and get paint for himself.
Well, I meant to, John. I just didn't get around. Well, you were supposed to be following through on that assay report in the washer.
They probably wouldn't paint it. They just get a hot iron and brand the boards.
Right.
You know what
hydraulic
operations would do?
That's just there's another question you didn't answer. Is there barbed wire at this time?
Yeah, there's barbed wire at this time. It's not very prevalent, but barbed wire does exist at this point.
That's easy for you to say, isn't it? You and your brother both, sure. Your father left you a mining company and $1 million to play around with.
Like, what's got into you?
Just this.
Gold fever.
It's clear that the only thing my father left me was a bunch of debts and bruises on my back. What I got, I dug out of the ground with these hands, and nobody's going to stop me from digging out more of it.
It's not important. I've told you that before. It has nothing to do with you and me.
Oh, doesn't it?
Rouge McDuck here?
I'm talking about that fine mansion where you were raised, the servants you had.
Just an entrepreneur trying to make his way, I guess, is the alternate
always asks me about
hypothesis.
those things. You say you like to hear about them.
And you like to remind me that I never had them.
Like, that's not so.
Sense a hint of jealousy in this man.
With his own girlfriend, no less.
You said that you love
Hang on, did they establish if it was his girlfriend, fiance, or wife? I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
His significant other.
Love interest, as far as I can say.
Those things don't matter. Just give me a chance to get well. And just give me a chance to be everything that you want me to be.
You'll be all right, Emily.
That very mild cough will probably take care of itself.
Have everything we've ever wanted.
61, tuberculosis.
You're gonna let old Ben Cartwright back you down, huh?
Who says so?
Pennington?
You take your orders from Pennington?
Well, now, you know, I was beginning to wonder about that. A few years ago, when I first knew you, there was no doubt about it. I took my orders from you.
You still do.
Oh, sure. Maybe when you two get married, you can use your wife's money to keep me on the payroll.
I dare say he had that coming.
Yeah, let's fight in words.
That's more like it. You just say the word, boss.
You just remember that. I'm boss.
That's the way I like it. Boss.
Strange way to assert your friendship. Right in the face. Like, good to go.
Says he's going on alone.
Nah, let him go.
Harrison, I promise not to punch you when we finally meet.
Be a shame.
Thank you. I promise not to punch you either.
Wouldn't it?
What makes you think they will?
Well, you never can tell. Of course, if they did, it'd go kind of hard on them. Cold-blooded murder and all. Yep.
Has this man had his hat shot off before? It looks like he's got a hole in his hat. And they're plotting to murder this poor old good sir.
Murdering cold-blooded, harmless little coot like Flannery over there.
Come on, Christian, let's go.
Think I'll take myself a little ride.
Crew?
Yeah.
Where?
In the Cartwright's front yard.
So much for your sympathetic villain.
Silently embracing these tactics.
Dry some cows today.
Right.
Hey, Paul. You got that bug hunter?
Yes, it's Mr. Flannery.
Do you want me to run him off, Bob?
No.
Go on, get.
Tender.
Mr. Cartwright, I must apologize for coming.
No way.
Yeah, well, pour one out for Mr. Good Sir, stand-in.
Got good sir after all, huh?
But yeah, but he wasn't eaten like the other Good Sir was.
That's fair.
Flannery.
He was walking toward us. He was shot from behind.
How'd it happen? An unarmed man whose only crime was setting foot on your precious ground.
I wouldn't do that.
Ah, the old false flag, eh?
That's more like he was going to go and confront him and he wanted his sons to make sure that nothing happened.
You're quick to accuse, Miss Pennington. But wasn't it you who mentioned about a man being sent into the enemy camp in order to be a known casualty? This was a planned murder. Someone here is guilty.
Well, now, who do you think's going to believe you? If decent people in this part of the country hear about this, they're going to ride on your place and wipe out the whole stinking Cartwright clan.
Looks like you got it all figured out, don't you, McCall? How would you like to start wiping us out right now?
That's enough. Take their guns.
What are you going to do? Kill us too?
You're going back to California. All of you.
Oh, you're drawing a pretty fine line on murder, aren't you, Cartwright? Now, we're out of supplies. I told you my sister's sick.
And you're going to make us go back through that country without food and guns and our stock worn out? Oh, isn't that murder?
Mr. Pennington, Paul wouldn't do that. We brought along fresh stock and supplies by mule pack. I'm gonna be riding along with you.
You? As our guard?
Well, no, ma'am. You see, I'm gonna be going along to make sure no harm comes to you. Ma'am, I wouldn't hurt you, not for nothing. Can little Joe or Adam go along instead of me?
We talked it out, Hoss. We think you can do this best.
Besides, you end up being one of the most beloved characters on the show.
Ah, that big oaf.
Big teddy bear is what he is.
Ain't no use in making it any rougher on the lady than you got.
Notice your partner ain't talking to you. Of course, I never could figure you and him being partners in the first place. Not that I blame you, man. Got some money out of it. Pretty girl.
Buddy, you're looking for another sock jaw.
I am? I don't mean to. As a matter of fact, I wanted to talk to you about maybe working out a partnership on them claims you filed.
What makes you think I'd want to share with you?
Well, I was thinking about you and that bug hunter.
I didn't kill him.
Oh, I guess you didn't. Just about as responsible as if you did.
Oh.
Guilty of conspiracy before the fact.
Right.
Accessory before the event.
Well, you have to admit I did pretty well with what I have.
Thank you. You could have a lot more.
You'd be out in the desert, on the way back to California.
Are you blaming me for that? You think it was my fault that Flannery was shot?
No, I'm just a little sick of the way fighting and killing follows everything you do.
You and your pretty little world, all wrapped up in tinsel. How do you think I got that land we hydraulicked in California? You sat back in your plush office when I went out there and fought for what we had, every inch of it.
Aren't you forgetting why we're making this trip? Well, didn't we agree on it? We both knew Emily had to get to a drier climate. Well, are you forgetting, or are other things more important?
Can't you control that miserable coughing?
Very compassionate.
These fir branches will make a good bed for you, ma'am. You just put them in the ground with the needle end up. You'll sleep a lot better. Smell of that fur will be good for that cough, too. Night.
Oh, nice guy, Hoss.
I think he likes her.
Well, got you some extra oats coming tonight. A long, hard climb we had today. You're gonna feel a lot better as soon as over.
But you can't trust people?
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's just that some folks have got a natural mean streak in them that animals just don't know nothing about, I guess.
Little Beauty and the Beast moment here.
You giving it up?
Well, what do you expect me to do? That big moose could break your back with one hand.
Yeah. Rough on men, but easy on horses. He pays more attention to the stock than he does to us.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Maybe if one of the horses was to go lame tomorrow.
Even if we could handle that big moosey. We still need guns and ammunition before we could tackle the rest of the Cartwrights.
That foreman of theirs, Jose Moreno, he don't live far from here. He'd have guns.
What about Pennington, Emily?
Well, now, that's your problem. Me, I'm just a simple man. All I care about's the gold.
What's the comparison I want for that guy? I'm thinking like Iago and Othello, or like a Grima Wormtongue type. Like he's like the whispering evil thoughts from the side.
Pretty, ain't it? That all force over there's got
I was gonna say like a Cornelius Hickey schemer. We're gonna keep on the AMC's The Terror,
corrupting those with the potential for good, those who could tip either way. Is the corrupting influence.
Hey, horse! You better come here a minute. What's the trouble? Horse has gone lame. How long has he been lame? Oh, about a half hour, I guess. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, boy, looks like you picked up a stone.
Oh.
The second time he's been hit over the head with something heavy.
Now, either you get the guns from Marino your way, or we'll get them our way.
Hey, Senor Horse! My good friend, I'm so glad to see you. Ay, caramba. The miners, they still dig like...
Caramba.
Ay, caramba.
Settle down, Bart Simpson.
Is everything all right?
Jose, we're gonna have to be careful.
Nope.
I wouldn't.
No.
Well, you finally came to it, didn't you? Outright murder.
I told you I wouldn't let anything stand in my way. It's the only way to fight the Cartwrights. Don't you see? I was only thinking of you, Emily.
You never could think of anybody but yourself, Blake. And you never will.
I'll stop you, McCall, somehow. I can handle that, boys.
We're still partners, John, if you want it.
Now, I said I'd stop you. It's the last thing I ever do.
Tie him up. Emily,
That's your brother-in-law, fool.
I think the wedding's off now.
I'd say so.
come on.
Got that gold fever.
Now, which horse will get back soon? It takes 4 men to replace him.
Well, if you can't hold up your end of the work, brother, you know.
Painting the Mexican dude.
He was a sweet old, perhaps Mexican.
You never really know with these old shows whether they're actually supposed to be who they are.
It's not like Charlton Heston playing a Mexican.
You keep on going about that. I'm gonna have to watch this movie someday where he plays a Mexican.
It's great. It's one of the best movies ever made.
Look, why are we wasting so much time? What do you expect to find, anyway?
Well, maybe you can see through a wall. Maybe you know how many guns we're up against.
Of course, had a rifle and a revolver with them. If they took his guns, that's all they took.
They took Jose's guns, too. They want us out in the open. They wouldn't have brought Jose's body to the house if they didn't. All right, Adam's right. Come on, let's get going.
I'm sorry, I was thinking just about horse.
Cut!
You look mighty unhappy, man.
What you need is a little loving to cheer you up.
Oh! Leave me alone!
This man is about to have the worst headache of his life.
Yes.
Never mind me. Get Emily out of here. Go on!
Oh, the gun! Grab the gun the guy dropped. Nope, never mind.
Well, now maybe we should have tied the girl up, too.
Shall we go after him?
Not yet. Let's see how far he'll get with a sick girl on his hands.
She's a literal sack of potatoes as far as Haas is concerned, so.
Huh?
I don't think she's gonna hold him up too much.
Nah. Yeah, Haas could probably bench press a wagon if he wanted to.
Yes.
It's all right, huh?
Makes me think of a kind of version of the big guy from Ice and Men.
Yeah!
Lenny! Lenny! Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
Poor Lenny. Oh, that poor bastard. He deserved better.
They're gonna be after us.
He too liked the pretty ladies. To somewhat tragic results, if we recall.
Yeah, but Haas is so much smarter than Lenny ever was, I'm sorry to say, but it's true. I remember having to watch the film adaptation of that for high school, and...
With Gary Sinise and John Malkovich?
Yep.
It's a good movie.
I had to turn away for the ending.
God, that's so sad. Such a sad story.
Get away from me, can't you?
She's coughing up blood. I think that's what they're implying.
Yeah.
Leave me alone!
The censors were a bit more censorious back in these days.
The Hays Code was still in effect.
See you hurt so, Miss Emily, that's all.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shout at you.
I can't hardly stand to see nothing hurt. It's as pretty as you are.
Aw.
Now you stay right here. I'm gonna take a look around.
Good at a reflection in the water. He called me pretty. Am I pretty?
Wasn't no sign of him, but that don't mean he ain't right behind us. We best be on our way.
You can't keep running forever. You carried me half the night. Why don't you rest a few
I don't think he felt it, madam.
Yeah, that was like wearing a turtleneck sweater as far as he's concerned.
Do you really think I'm pretty?
You called it.
I think you're real pretty.
Oh dear.
I think you're as pretty as I am ugly.
Forgive me for saying it. Please?
Oh, it's all right. I've heard it before. We best move on.
Romantic sweet talk. If only it were this easy in real life. Hang on, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
And by what right does a murderer like old man Cartwright tell you where you can mine and where you can't? This man, Flannery, he didn't even own a gun. And old man Cartwright shot him down. You want to know why? All right, I'll tell you why. Because the real gold strike is on the Ponderosa, not in that blue stuff they've been running into over at Washoe. That's why Cartwright and his boys are willing to kill and not keep right on killing. Move in on those murderers. And get out of this blasted blue stuff and into the real gold strike.
I'm with you, McCall. In fact, we're all with you. Right, boys?
Good pep talk for the lads there.
Hello, me at Horseshoe Canyon.
My when gold and silver comes into the mix, men's logic tends to go out the window.
Working out better than you hoped for, boss. Old man Cartwright and the two boys, and they're coming in alone. Oh, good. They'll never know what hit him. Come on. And bring my partner with us.
Horace, I'd like to explain to you about Blake McCall.
You don't have to explain nothing to me, Miss Emily.
You see, I only saw the good side of him.
Well, I reckon that's the way it is sometimes. You look at a cactus and you see a rose, because a rose is what you want to see. I don't reckon there's anything wrong with wanting to see something good and pretty. Sometimes I even do that myself. I get sort of lonely-like, and I look for good and pretty things.
What sort of pretty things do you look for?
Well, if it's a springtime, there's this canyon I go to. It's plumb full of dogwood, and there's 1,000 blossoms on every tree. There's a smell of the damp leaves in the air and little ferns around on the ground.
Sounds lovely.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Why?
Because it's right around
It's
this
a special
corner.
place for me.
It's
I'd like
just
to take you there. I'd like to show you the little gold-back ferns. You press them on your hand, and the gold comes right off just like it's stardust right out of the sky. I ain't never took nobody else there. But I'd like to take you.
Hoss. You big teddy bear.
If there's anything else I'd rather see.
Miss Emily, I want you to stay right here on the Ponderosa.
Hoss, take it easy. I know she's a good-looking girl, but you've only known her for, what, how many days?
Don't you realize I'm
Is he proposing here?
I know that, but I want to take care of you. I want to take care of you all of my life.
I couldn't bear it having you feel sorry for me.
Oh, I ain't feeling sorry for you, Miss Emily. What I'm trying to say is that I like you, and I'll be right back.
Uh-oh.
Hoss, what is it?
Paul and Adam and little Joe. McCall's got at least a dozen men down there. Boy, ain't no stand a chance. I gotta stop it.
Hoss, you can't. You'll be killed.
Miss Emily, I gotta.
You can't go.
McCall! Here I am, McCall! Up here! I'm coming, McCall!
Haas against what, 10 guys? They should have brought 30.
Want to tip off old man Cartwright?
Should have brought 300.
I'm Spartacus.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
Just did John Cena's finisher to that guy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
If it's a fair fight, yeah, that's not gonna... Yeah.
You all right?
Yup, Paul. Well, Hoss, looks like you have things under control.
Yeah, reckon I sort of lost my temper.
Jumpers, get back to your diggings. It was McCall's idea, Mr. Cartwright. I didn't want no part in it.
Oh, shut up.
These little weasels.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Little Joe, you got it all wrong.
Mr. Pilgrim here saved my life.
Well, Pennington, I guess we owe you thanks.
Thank you. Is Emily all right?
It's fine.
We gotta get a doctor for her.
What's old Doc Riley doing up there? He sure has been up there a long time.
Well, how is she, Doctor?
She wants to talk to you, Mr. Pennington.
Well, what did the doctor say?
What the doctor had to say isn't really very important. Would you take that? I'd like to go back to San Francisco.
What? Emily, you know what the doctors there told you. This is a climate for you. Why, in 3 months' time, you'll be completely recovered.
John, you know better.
Oh, I don't know better. I refuse to give up.
It isn't a matter of giving up. It's being able to face the truth.
Too far gone.
I had to face the truth about Blake, and I think that makes it much easier for me to face this.
I'll find another doctor. Well, I'll do something.
Wants to die in her actual hometown,
You've
eh?
done much more than the brother should do anyway. I don't want to be a burden to you during the time I've left. I'm going back.
Well, then I'll go with you.
No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to go on to Warsaw and to this new Virginia city. Just the way you planned.
Well, you think I'd leave you?
I want to go back today.
Today? Why? You're in no shape to travel.
Please let me do what I have to do. I'm not really so brave, you know. It's just that I've accepted it. And I don't want to take a chance on tomorrow.
There must be something I can do.
Yes, I'll tell you what you can do. Get my clothes from the wagon because I want to look my very best. John, please don't tell Hoss.
Dan Blocker's Emmy reel incoming.
There's a wagon train crossing the Sierra into California, and the wagon master's going to meet us down at Truckee Meadows. Take good care of her.
It'll be fine, Hoss. Thank you. God bless you, John.
Bye.
Wish you didn't have to go back so soon.
I wish that too.
Maybe I ought to go along with you.
No. You're needed on the Ponderosa. Hoss, tell me about the canyon and the dogwood in bloom.
I ain't so good about
You called the Lenny comparison when he was like, "Tell me about the farm."
Tell me about the wabbits. Tell me about the wabbits.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gold comes off.
Yep.
Just like it was stardust right out of the sky.
Look at those blue eyes. I've never noticed that about him before.
Bright blue.
You come back?
She's got bright blue eyes too.
It often feels like they're on sets, which I know they're not. They shot on location. I think it's just the vagaries
Oh,
of 50 cameras.
I think they did both. They filmed on sets for the close-ups and in location for the wide shots.
Like even sometimes the trees feel like it's like a matte painting.
Like this right here is obviously a set.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm not crazy. Yeah.
I love you, Hoss.
Aww. Happiest day of his life. Look at him. Look at him.
Careful. Who's gonna catch him if he faints?
Yeah, you and what army?
She loves me. Miss Emily loves me. She's gonna come back to spring. You hear that, little Joe? She loves me. Hoss, I'm gonna get mad, little Joe.
Oh, prepare to have your heart broken, Hoss.
Oh boy.
What's the matter?
Here it comes, doesn't it?
Yeah, the penny drops.
Here comes the Emmy reel.
What have you been telling these people? You must have known Miss Pennington was very ill.
Hoss, you quack. If you told her
Do
something...
you think it's a pleasure for me to tell a dying girl she's got only 1 month to live?
In the feels.
Yeah.
You're all liars. Paul, make them tell me they're lying.
It's God's will, son.
Went from being the best day of his life to the worst. Just like that.
Son, I've had to bury 3 women I loved. Your mom, Adam's, and his. For a while, it's a hurt you have to bear alone.
Don't understand, God. You gotta help me.
Feel sorry for your hospital. We all gotta have our heart broken at least once in our life.
That's, rite of passage.
I'm gonna have my heart broken twice. Same girl.
Oh.
Story for another day.
Yes, yes.
Paul. Paul,
Hoss, there's plenty to do.
Mind of it. A man is going to chop down an entire forest to take his mind off it. And he can probably do it too. And thus ends episode number 3 of season 1.
Good episode. I defer first to brother Connor, who is supposedly not from Canada. Brother Connor, what did you think of Red Dead Redemption Season 1, Episode 3, The Outsiders, starring Kevin Nash and Scott Hall? What did you think, sir?
Well, I'm going to have to be sorry to everyone, but I have not played Red Dead Redemption.
What was that, you son of a bitch?
It is a good classic. It is a good western. Like it has all of, like, the good cues of westerns, and you have like us, who I feel bad for the man.
It's a bit of a running gag throughout the series. Every time one of the Cartwright boys falls in love, the girl either rejects him, falls for another fella, or in this case, ends up dying in the end.
It feels so much more tragic with Haas, I guess, because he's so, I don't want to say naive, but just such he's
lovable,
lovely, clean spirit, and just wishes the best for anyone good.
He looks terrifying at first, but he's a big old teddy bear.
Yes,
indeed. Yes. He's a teddy bear who can headbutt his way through a brick wall.
Yes.
He very much made me think of Mice and Men and Lenny, I think.
I think by this point, actually, John Steinbeck's of Mice and Men would have been out. Let's see, it was published in, 1933, 1935? Yeah, the first season of Bonanza came out in 1959. So yeah, who knows? Maybe they were making allusions to that. But I'd agree with Connor. It's so far it's a great western. I loved that bit at the end when Cost was just coming down the hill, and this man is about to kick ass, take names, and chew bubblegum, and he's all out of bubblegum.
Yes,
he's going to work.
I echo everything you guys said about the quality. I will echo things I said in our previous episodes about, especially for the time, just kind of like layered complexity in the writing. There's a lot of, you could just have white hats and black hats, right? But they have like a villain who's kind of conflicted and a guy in his ear kind of like pressuring him to be a little more evil, and then eventually he accepts that. So it's a little.
You mean Blue Handkerchief guy, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's more interesting than just.
I don't even. Did he have a name actually?
I don't think he had a name. So. No, they didn't. Yeah. They didn't. Just like a hole through the hat guy is what I subconsciously called it. But that man looked like he pissed someone off. The guy shot his hat off just to make a point, and he's like, "Well, fair enough," and rode away.
I'm gonna keep being an evil asshole. This is the lesson I'm gonna take from this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene where the guy's like, "Oh, I'm not sure if you're the boss of me anymore." Slugs him like, "I guess you're still the boss to me. I like you." It's like, that would not have been my reaction. It's like, "Well, you're gonna hit me? Well, screw you. I quit."
Here's a quandary I'm having with these kinds of stories, I guess. Something I've been thinking about as I watch Yellowstone, as I watch Dances with Wolves, and now as I watch Bonanza. Always these stories are about, like, a good guy, a protagonist, if you will, protecting something that it is inherently impossible to protect, which is a bulwark against the avalanche of progress. And then the villain is always represented by, like, oh, I'm the guy bringing in machines and industry and all these things. And it's like, part of me goes, sure, yeah, it's nice to have the natural world. But also, like, you're standing against the tide of history, and you can't do that forever. So it just, like, our good guys are kind of in denial, and our bad guys are like the guys who are bringing in industry and evolution and the changes that the world just naturally provides over the course of things.
I think the main issue with this was the guy, Emily's brother. He was the guy who brought in, like, the hydraulic method of mining, just basically shooting a high pressure hose at a hillside and washing all the dirt and stuff away and picking up the gold that way, and that causes mudslides and basically ecological disaster.
Right.
Whereas basically, from what I understand, what's his face, the potential brother-in-law who turned out to be the jackass, he he was claiming all the ranches around that would basically end up washing all that muck downstream to the Ponderosa, which would destroy the Ponderosa because. So yeah, he's protecting it. So Cartwright is protecting his business, his business interest, so to speak, and also protecting the natural order of things.
Yeah, it's very much harkens to a lot of the writings of Tolkien at the time. To Tolkien's writings of his opposition to his support of the preservation of nature and the natural world over industrialization, which he feared would create such crises. But it also harkens to, in my opinion, a lot of the classical American dream dreamed up by the American founding fathers, such as Franklin, who believed that people should have farms and everything, but and who did not put a lot of faith in global trade, in world trade and other things, as well as in Jefferson's idea, because Jefferson hated cities, he hated industry and all that. So it's very much built off of the idealism of Thomas Jefferson.
Everyone's going to have 10 acres of land and their own mule.
It's the very earliest tension in American politics, really, like Hamiltonian versus Jeffersonian ideals of what the country should be. Eyes towards the future, banking and finance and city and industry, or this sort of agrarian paradise.
This is the idealized version of the West. Obviously, in real life, this situation would not have ended as cleanly as it would have. I mean, if we're being realistic, what's his face? Blue neckerchief guy would have shot Haas the second he came over that hill. It's like, I'm coming to get you back. And he was going to until what's his face? Like, no. Like, we're gonna fight this 6'2", 250-pound bull, bipedal bull. We're gonna fight this guy fisticuffs. Like, okay, you're feeling brave. Go right ahead.
The 1950s, everything has to have a good, happy ending.
Sherman, forget it. He's rolling.
You know what? Nowadays, everything has to be so realistic. It has to be gritty. It has to be gray. I want me some good old-fashioned happy ending stories, even if this one does have a tragic ending with Haas getting heartbroken, but still, they don't. Yeah. This is cliche to say. What the heck? I'll say it. They just don't make shows like this anymore. I mean, as I told the story in the first episode, the show swings from drama to highbrow entertainment to lowbrow comedy in the same season. I mean, later on, we're going to find some absolute golden comedies. I mean, like, worthy of Robin Williams. I think he would have appreciated that kind of jokes.
The once #1 fan of Legend of Zelda.
Yes, named his daughter Zelda. That's right, yeah.
I haven't finished Breath of the Wild yet. Do not spoil it for me. Do you have any idea how hard it is for me to avoid spoilers? Ladies and gentlemen, cowboys, cowgirls, I hope you enjoyed this third episode of Wild West Wednesdays with yours truly, Harrison MacArthur, Draco Pendragon, and the world-renowned historian, and our very first guest on the show, Connor. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Links to my channel and Historian's channel down in the description down below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, boys, if you see Haas coming towards you with an angry look on your face, get on your horse, kick that thing in the ribs until you break it, and just run for your life, because you're not winning that fist fight.
Be good, kiddos. Peace out.
Huh?